Okay.
Now it has started. You please start again.
Okay. So I would like to start with the introduction of myself, which is part of my introduction. So that is there. My name is Godwin Kweku Tetteh Maulepe. That's a Ghanaian from the eastern, born in the eastern part of Ghana, but currently living in the Greater Accra. Accra, that's the capital of Ghana. That's where I work. Um, okay, so I am a journalist by profession, and I'm involved in the Fix the Country group campaign. I'm sure most of you have heard of it. And I am the producer for a TV political show, a TV and a radio station in Ghana with a group called Media General. And we have several TV stations, channels, and radio station channels. And I produce from one TV and radio channel called Onya TV. So I'm the producer for a breakfast show called Onya Machin that is in Tree. I'm not sure anybody can get it, but that's the name. So we run our show from Monday to Friday, 5:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. in Ghana from Monday to Friday. We discuss issues in Ghana, both political, industrial, agric, culture, and every current affairs that happens in Ghana. So our broadcast, we are on digital channels, we are on social media, and we have people who listen to us across the world. Currently in Ghana, I can say we are the #1 when it comes to TV in Ghana. When you know anybody in Ghana, you can ask anybody about Onya TV. And we have about the 70% of the population who listens to us, who are engaged in whatever we do. We have people who also listen from the other parts of the world. Germany here, we have a lot of people who listen to our show. That's with that. I have a team members. I am a producer and I have presenters who presents the show. Many of them, and my main host is called Captain Smart. I'm sure a lot of people would have heard of about him. Very brave journalist in Ghana, very popular, neutral, who is able to say truth to power from, times, periods, and different political parties. He's able to talk about situations, whether being positive or negative. And so we have all of them that I'll show to you as time goes on in this presentation. I mainly have a team that consists of 25 members on the show that we run, and we have a lot of everybody and their responsibility, which individually or as a group with time, we meet all of them. We tour around the country. We Ghana have 16 regions currently, before 10, but now 16. So we tour the regions of Ghana and we do shows. We try to interact with the people and for them to, feel part of what we do because we have listeners across the country. So we go through all these regions, sometimes interact with people and get the president or the world to know what is going on at all these regions. We also organize activities that I'll show in time that will give the people the opportunity. Ghana is one of the countries that we practice democracy. So we use our platform to bring together people who can have the opportunity to discuss issues affecting them, issues that they think need to be focused on and other ones. So we do that day in and day out. That's my picture there. Okay, so that's my branch as I speak about Media General is a group in Ghana. I'm sure you can Google about it and you can find anything you want about that. Okay, so I spoke about the presenter of the show I produced, and that's his picture here, Captain Smart. I'm sure a lot of you might have heard about him. And with time, everything that we are going to do, he's going to be part as well, and other members who will be part of these conversations as time goes on. Okay, so I have myself and my picture with him, and then we have Smart TV. We worked at different stations before, our current stations, and Smart TV is also part of this station that we've worked before, that we are still working to. All our production, all our shows that we do, you can find it on Smart TV. It's on Facebook and YouTube, so you can find some of these things that we talk about. Okay, so I am the producer of the show, but at a point, I have the opportunity to come and then talk about some of presents to the people as well. So that's my picture there. It's all part of the introduction. Okay, and the picture here also, it's with my colleagues who colleague presenters who we have other people who perform different roles in my team. So I have their picture here as well. That's my TV channel. It's on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it's on all the social medias you can get. Okay, I spoke about some of our programs that my channel, my TV channel, we organize. I have these two pictures here. One, the People Assembly. We organize programs. We go to regions in Ghana, and then we talk about, we let the people come around, speak about issues that affect their daily life. I mean, there are a lot of issues that people don't have the opportunity, because we are a big platform in Ghana. So people don't have the time to communicate with us, get direct contact to us, or even speak for the government to hear. But we grant people this opportunity. We go to them region by region, and then being in your profession, that whatever you do, you can have the opportunity to interact. We give you mic, we give you platform for you to speak. And so we have workers from all fields, marketing, businesswomen, government workers, and all. They come, they share their problems, and sometimes we have people who respond to some of these issues. Those are directed to the government. We say for the government to hear and to respond to some of these things. And with time, I will even invite some of you here to be part of this program. And last year we did some, which was on the 25th of July to 29th. It's a week program that we do, and I'm hoping to invite you to be part of it, because that is one of the major programs that the people of Ghana are really interested in, because they have the opportunity to really say some of the things that really goes on that sometimes the international world doesn't hear about. Okay, so that's another picture there. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Ghana, brief some facts about Ghana, some challenges, and then fix the country, why we decided to quit that platform. I'm going to be brief in this part. I'm going to focus more on the gallery of because most of you have heard about Ghana, know about Ghana, so I won't keep long in the history of Ghana. You know, Ghana had its independence in the 1957. Our first president was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and I'm sure a lot of you know about that. So I'll skip that. That's a map of Ghana, and then we have the Independence Square, where Ghana used to have their independence parade. That is what we have there. And then we have the current president of Ghana. He's called President Nana Akufo-Addo. He's the current president of Ghana. I'm later going to talk about him as well. And we have the two major political parties in Ghana now. We have about 12 political parties, some still counting, but we have the the two major parties in Ghana now, the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, and then the National Democratic Congress, which is the major opposition party in Ghana now. The New Patriotic Party is the ruling party, the current party in government as we speak. Okay, so here are some facts about Ghana. It's a very big, when Ghana is in Africa, and according to global peace experts, Ghana, second peaceful country, in Africa, and I can tell you that Ghana, even as we speak, when you talk about Africa, Ghana will be the first country in terms of peace and freedom and issues pertaining to human rights, opportunity to express issues affecting the country, and even talk about international issues. Ghana have that space that, and it's even good for investment. Most of the investors from, all parts of the world like to come to Ghana because there is much freedom. Our currency is in CD. I will not go much about that. And then Ghana is a very cultural land. We believe much in culture, and we believe in sports, and we have a lot of natural resources as well. Talk of cocoa, talk of gold, talk of diamond, talk of oil, and currently lithium. That's it's one of the booming markets in terms of industry, electronic industry. Ghana just discovered lithium, but I'll later talk about it. Why Ghana still have issues having all these things. Official language in Ghana is English, British English, but with different kinds of local language, other internal languages, international languages are also spoken in Ghana. So it's a free land, I said, gets diversity. We also have local traditional foods, but we also have international foods as well. A lot of Chinese restaurants, Spanish, Italian restaurants are popping up in Ghana because of, the freedom and the space for investment. Okay, so challenges affecting the country as we speak now. I will later talk about why I decided to, deal with the challenges at this particular time. Unemployment. Ghana is currently facing about over 50% of unemployment, and most of these targeted unemployed groups are the youth. We have a lot of people who complete universities, polytechnics, teacher training colleges, and other institutions complete school, and they don't get jobs, even though we have all these natural minerals, and then we have there are other international trades that comes from Ghana, but it turned out the major population of the country are not employed because of other factors that I will talk about. Corruption. Corruption is one of the problems facing Ghana as we speak now, because we have international transactions, local transactions, loans, and other developmental projects that, if all those things are to be accounted for or are to be dealt with, or all those things should be done accordingly, Ghana should be very rich country as we speak now, that can even have the opportunity to even invite people from other countries that could benefit from employment from Ghana as we speak. So corruption is one of the major problems we are facing now, and that is why one of the reasons, or one of the points why myself and my team, my station in Ghana, we have devoted major space on our show that we speak about corruption, We speak about corruption. We try to get documents-based, evidence-based on issues with corruptions that are involved, some with government officials, some with private. Hello? Hello?
Bist du drin?
Schmeckt so ein bisschen seltsam, der Kaffee.
Okay. So I think Carol's mic has been. Okay, so I can continue. So I was talking about corruption. So that is why my team and I have devoted our show, we devoted our lives and all other people that we come in contact with to fight corruption in Ghana and also to prevent some of these things that hinders the development of the country, because these corruption issues that we talk about does not,
Bildschirm schalten, statt laut.
because some of these corruption issues that not only affect Ghana, some of this corruption affects the world as a whole. It affects the neighboring countries. It affects developments that will extend to other countries, because if Ghana is to manage its natural resources very well, its human resources and its other types of resources that we have, avoiding, eliminating such corruptions, the world could benefit. And I mean, products that go to the other world, other countries could be much more benefited, but some of these things are sometimes, I mean, blocked because of that. So it's one thing that we really fight, and we have been making much success in this. As I can tell you now, most of the people, most of the cases that we've talked about in corruption have been dealt with by the public or the government. So there are lots of things that we can speak about that. Illiteracy and inaccessible of quality education is one issue that is facing Ghana as a country now, because we have a lot of, even though there have been mechanisms to reduce ability to get education, they still have people in Ghana who don't have access to quality education. And I have some pictures I can share with all of us with time. And sometimes even the form of education that is being given on the ground is totally different from what happens from other countries. And we don't want to do what other countries do. I mean, but the point is that there is still challenge that if we have international collaboration with neighboring countries and neighboring continents, neighboring countries, we can be able to fix some of these things. And also my team and I have been on these issues. I have pictures that I'll show to the participants of this particular meeting about some of these things. Poverty. Poverty is one tool also that is affecting Ghana as we speak, especially financial issues with the government as we speak, loans that have been, the country have been cared for, I mean, years now. That's as we speak, the current government wants to support on the IMF that is still pending, because most of these corruption issues, most of these things that have been orchestrated by groups, individuals, business people, that we try to find out some of these things create issues that the ordinary people are the ones who suffer for these things. And we have people who completed school, they can't pay for their rent. We have people who are very intelligent, who are very industrious. We have geniuses from Ghana who could do a lot of things, but poverty has clouded people And it's one of the things I'm hoping that we can have a discussion individually or as a group, that we can exchange programs, we can exchange ideas, we can exchange um, platforms, systems that we can help, because some of these people are people that can be useful to the world, and not just for Ghana. Because of poverty, there are lots of people who want to go into agri in Ghana, but they are not able to do because of lack of funding, which is supposed to be established by the government. But it's one issue we have been dealing with. So personally, or even as a group, sometimes we have to support people with our own finance. And I mean, we are not able to do more, but we are hoping to do more. And I wish we can discuss this with time, if we can have a platform or an opportunity to do something, even as a foundation, okay, that we can set up, because there are critical issues that even violates the fundamental human rights that some of people in, I mean, Accra go through, Ghana go through, and I mean, people in the other world don't sometimes believe this, that these are realities that happen day in, day out. I'll share pictures with you, and I'm hoping that we can work on some of these things to see how we can elevate some of these things. Forest encroachment and I mean, defertilization of I mean, when you come to Ghana, Ghana have a very good forest system in terms of natural resources, like natural resources. We have some of the trees, we have rubber tree, we have the rosewood, we have some of the local ones that are being used for international products. But some of these things are even destroyed by either local or some international people who comes into the country, and they find ways to destroy some of these things that could have been beneficial to the world, because there were lots of products, there are lots of natural products that are being extracted from the forest of Ghana to the world. But some of these things are wrongly done by local people who have might in a way be ignorant about it. Some also are international players who find their way illegally to get into the forest. So myself and my team, we've been working hard exposing some of these things, and there have been success stories of some of these things that we do. And I'm hoping that, I mean, having people that like you, that we can have a collaboration to work on some of these things globally. We can see how to fix some of these things, and not just in Ghana, but I'm wishing for something we can come together to do it, and also issues that are affecting other countries. But since I'm in Ghana, I'm just focusing on these things. Rural urban migration is one of the things, and it's not even I mean, Ghana alone. There are lots of people who don't even just move from rural areas to the capital, which is everywhere, I would say. But people try to move out from Ghana to other countries like Europe, America, and other parts of the world. Some of these things are things that myself and my team have put up on ourselves, that Ghana is capable of fixing its issues, and issues, I mean, fundamental issues that could prevent some of these migrations that has happened from the 90s. So we have decided to put it on ourselves to arrange with international groups, individuals who will be able to come together on board, and we can have idea action programs, create foundation, financial support on how we can set up people, and we can set up, I mean, we cannot do it all, but we can take people as an example, try to fix them, and try to set up some foundations for people to see that you can do it in your country. It's one of the things that we have taken up on ourselves to do. And it will be more very nice, or you'll be more authenticated when we have people from the other parts of the world like people in Germany here, people in US, people who can say that, oh, you can do it in your country, and that will prevent that migration issues that have even been issued to to Europe and other countries in the world as we speak. So those are things that, I mean, they are challenges to us that we are fixing internally, and we wish to get international corporations, I mean, that we can fix some of these things. Lack of welfare for children. I mean, there are lots of child abuses in Ghana here, that some of them, it did not start today. It started from years back, and some of them grew to be in society. Some of them grew to travel, and all these things cause chaos in the world. Some of them grew to become, so as part of the decision myself and my team have taken, we've decided to, I mean, whenever we have seen issues in any part of Ghana that have to do with child abuse, child welfare, we go into it, we make sure justice is being given to people who need that support, especially children. We make sure that we try that everybody as child gets those foundations that they need. We try to protect them using our medium. And I'm sure that people here can also help us to that, in case you have anybody or you know any group who is interested in welfare. I mean, we can have exchange programs. We can do some of these things to be able to, for the people who are there, also people in the world, because we are media house. What we do for the world. So people in the world can see some of the things that we are doing. At the end of the day, what we are fighting for, to have a peace in this world, we can be able to achieve that. Climate change. Climate change is one of the issues also that we try to deal with, because even though Ghana is a rich country in terms of natural resources, the current global climate change, or this climate threat issue, is something that is affecting even, I mean, farmlands, those who go into this gold mining, those who go into rubber plantation, those who go into other sorts of natural mineral acquisition. They have problems with different weather now, and they have, because of inaccurate technology also in our parts of the world, it has reduced the kind of produce or products that must be exported to the world. So it's something that we have decided to work on, and we are wishing to get international partners who can also say that, oh, yeah, this is true, because we have major parts of the country that listen to us every day, that are able to move with what we education or whatever we do to them. So we are looking to have this opportunity to have these international collaborations. I'll start with my gallery, and this is a public vehicle in Ghana, and then there's something written on the back. Is called, I can read it and explain why I decided to add it to my presentation. So the written is that Mahama is better than this man. This is a public vehicle in Ghana, and it is talking about the current president and the old president. The old president is called Mahama. The current person, the person with this man, because he doesn't want to mention the name. A lot of people are complaining about the current economic issue in Ghana now. Some of these things arrived at the issues of this corruption, the issue of this poverty, the issue of the current president has promised a lot about coming to change some of these things, but it did not happen. So myself and my team, we have decided to find alternatives to it. And as much as we deal with the government, we want to form international groups, local groups that can be able to bring solutions, alternatives to how we can deal with some of these issues. Because I can tell you that thousands of people risk their lives traveling just because they want to get some of these things outside. Ghana have a lot of water bodies that can provide electricity, Ghana have the sun that can provide solar and all that. But some of these things is managed by leaders, and so we have taken ourselves time upon ourselves to deal with some of these things. And this picture here shows children from schools, secondary schools, and you can tell from the school the food on the picture here that some of them have no mixed protein, some of them don't have the necessary foods or materials that can be able to provide for students who are even in school. And some of this leads to completing school and not be able to do anything because most of the children who are in the school are sometimes stressed, sometimes think of what to eat. And so it's part of this presentation because I would like us to see how we can, in collaboration, international world, to fix some of these things by exchange of, procedure systems and what we can use to deal with some of these things. The other picture here is to talk about the school, and the right here is talk about a nurse, a professional nurse in Ghana who have completed school for years, and then with the unemployment issue I raised, that's you see graduates who completed school that are not able to attend, are not able to get jobs for 3 years, 4 years, and some of them, we give them platform, the opportunity to come to our show and then express their issues. We have this typical one that we did last year. And then after coming on our show and speaking, the government listened and did, employed some of them, but there are still some of them that haven't been employed yet. So I hope that, there are lots of things that we can together be able to do. There are most of them who travel. Because they're unable to get jobs in Ghana, they travel to other countries to get jobs, and sometimes bring pressure to those countries, or even sometimes might not even match with their education system. These people could have been doing best in their country, but because of some of this lack of this interest, so we've taken it upon ourselves, and we are hoping we can get international bodies, international groups or individuals that we can be able to come together, ideas, and have meetings and see how gradually we can see to some of these things. Okay, so this nurse, like I was saying, this nurse was on our show last year. She was crying. You could see from the picture because she could not get job. Sometimes have to beg before they can eat as a professional nurse. And some of these things are issues that are affecting the country as to speak. We have also, this is security officers, prison officers, and who have their buildings flooded. We use our platform to take coverage of some of these things for the government to see and how solutions can be done for them. This is one region from Ghana. This is where they get cocoa, they grow cocoa, they have cocoa farms that are being exported from the country. That you can see from the picture, that's their road. And these are some of the things that we talked about to be able to see how the government will be on its tools to fix some of these things. So we have been on the government to do some of this. And we are also hoping to get international organizations on how we can come together to fix some of these things. We have two pictures here. This is one all from the capital of Ghana. You could see from the left a student who is going to school on a motorbike, and the dam, the bridge, you can see there in your picture, it's not well. So they decided the routes that fix the bridge, then that's on that particular street. So we give the opportunity on our show for people to really see some of these things, because the government of the day sometimes preaches that oh, we have done the roads, we've done this roads, but we do extend to for the people to really see some of these things. Um, I spoke about unemployment. This is a picture of the young guy who completed school and have to go into illegal mining because there are no jobs. We have here too some people who have to fix their own road, and we also have rubber plantation. That's a road that leads to a rubber plantation that can be used to produce a lot of things. But you can see from the picture how they are trying to fix their own road. So we try to get some of them on board, and then we try to fix some of this thing with them. Okay, that's a picture. This is a picture from Accra, and the capital town of capital city of Ghana. You could see women sleeping and the bed open. Why? Because there are no jobs from where they come from. They have to come to Accra to find ways. Some of them carry things in the market. There are some people who are here who are probably being in Ghana. So you could see ladies who carry things in their head to get paid. And so we give opportunities to them. That's my team and I. We give opportunities to them. We sometimes organize training sessions on local soaps, local sanitizers, and all those to, eliminate some of this thing. But it's still a bigger challenge in Ghana, which we are hoping to get an international collaboration that we can be able to deal with some of these things, even if it's a foundation, even if we can create something like a fundraising to gradually get this people, because we do it on our own. We have done a couple of them already. And so we are hoping to get more hands on any little we can see how to rescue some of this some of the things that they go through that is even violates their human rights. And so that is what we have devoted our life and time to do. There is a cocoa farmer who have his cocoa products because they are saying that cost of production is becoming high now. Also because we have some international people from like China who comes in the country to do illegal mining. So they tend to, spoil the land, and some of them are not getting better. Ghana used to be the #1 country gold producer, but as we speak, we are having some of these challenges in the cocoa sector. So we wish to get experts from also in terms of farming, agriculture, or cocoa industry, because when it comes to Ghana, we have one of the biggest platforms in Ghana. So we are hoping to get this kind of international collaborations that we can be able to rescue some of these cocoa production issues, so that at the end of the day, Ghana could be able to produce, cocoa on a larger scale than it used to be before. That site of an illegal mining site, also in one of the regions in Ghana, the youth who are not able to get jobs to do, they have to engage in illegal mining, and some of them die through this process. Some of them also get sicknesses, and some communities are even affected because of this illegal mining. So we've taken it upon ourselves to sometimes get them, educate them, sometimes provide opportunity for them, because there are lots of opportunities in Ghana that if we get, we get some international collaborations that we can be able to create educational avenues, exchange programs that could be able to, we could be able to, as a country, produce more than we used to do. We have here to disabled. They one day had a demonstration in the country speaking about unemployment, because some used to have a job, but at a point the government took a decision not to enroll them because of their reason, which we've been dealing with. And so we still have mass of them who are unemployed. And it is something that we are dealing with because some of them are very intelligent, some of them could contribute to the national assets and also even to the world. So we've taken it upon ourselves to see how we grant some of them an interviews. We are hoping to find avenues on how we can be able to fix some of these things. We believe that we can do these things on ourselves, but it will have to come through, the partnership with the international world and how to be able to sustain the building of some of these things. So that's there, with the black hats, some of them have them a job in life, and it's very pathetic sometimes when you go through you see some of them. Okay, so this is also with the kind of water some of them drinks, some communities in Ghana drink, and it's one of the things that we talk about. And like I said, on our show, we sometimes do educational programs. We sometimes do, we go through the people. So these are some of the things that we see when we visit people, and we try in our own way to deal with it. But we still believe that there are a lot of things that come from Ghana that can be beneficial to the world, and some of these things are things that could easily be dealt with international relations and international action programs, international fundraising, and all those things. We can be able to take some of these things. Then I'll come to Fix the Country. Fix the Country is a non-partisan and a political movement that we started last 2 years in Ghana, which is headed by my team online. Some of these things that I showed you earlier on are things that made us arrive at the conclusion that no, we must fix our country and we must fix the world, because there are things that are affecting us locally that can easily be, be solved if we have international relations. There are things in other countries that we can also help solve when it comes to other countries. So these are some of the things that we want to fix in our country. And so we set up platforms, groups across all the regions in Ghana, and we have them meet on our platform. We give them the opportunity, people to speak about particular things that they want the country, they want to be done. And we are doing some of these things, all of these things in a very peaceful manner. And we speak to the government, we speak to groups and all people who we want them to deal with some of these challenges that we are facing. We had a demonstration, and these are some of the pictures that we have. We had a demonstration that we put more than 20,000 of people on the streets. We had more than 40,000 of people who were involved in this demonstration. We have youth, we have old men who came out, and some of these issues that they believe that they can deal with internally as a country. We want to come together, one, say our petition to the government, and two, put ourselves together in finding ways that we can deal with some of these things. So we did t-shirts and all those things. You can see me. I don't know if you can see me in one of the picture here. I have myself here, and part of it. I have my presenter here, and Max, he's also here. And then we have one person here who is for Kweku Tetteh. He is the independent presidential candidate of Ghana. We was also part. We have a lot of prominent people. We have a lot of activists from all parts of the country who came on that demonstration, and it was a very huge surprise to the country and to the world, because it went viral. The government was ready to come to see how we can solve some of these things. And so we have those are the pictures from the demonstration. And to end with the present, with the PowerPoint, or with the screen of sharing. And the reason why I'm having this this presentation is that I believe that there are lots of things that Ghana can put up to the world, and I believe that there are issues that other countries, other African countries can put up to the world. I believe that there are other things that the European countries, US and other can put up to the world, that when we come together as a force in the world, we can make this world a peaceful place, a better place to live. There are some who are ahead of some, but if we hold our hands, we can do this. And so looking up for cooperation, how we can have a Ghana-German, collaboration, Ghana-US collaboration, so that we can come together and fix some of these things. We are much aware with Russia-Ukraine war. It's something that we have spoke about in Ghana, and we are hoping to have a very peaceful world. So if we come together now as individuals, as people who we can put our hands together, we can fix some of these things. And in my position, where I am in Ghana, I have the platform that can speak to 70% of Ghanaians a day. So I believe it's an opportunity that Ghana can be able to afford to some of these ways if we have people from the other parts of the world who can come together and then put things together. When we come to Ghana like this, it has not been easy being in my position to fix some of these things. There are lots of other people like me in Ghana, some like me, some better than me, who are ready to take this mantle up. There are people who are really also suffering, who can do better. So I would even like to appeal, if individuals, participants of these people, other groups that we can have a meeting, we can set up something like a foundation or something that we can be able to support people, put something together to support people, from every part of the world, especially Ghana, who are really going through some of these challenges. And most of the challenges that I spoke about are things that if Ghana is able to achieve, it could be beneficial to the world as well. Some of the natural resources that Ghana have that is still supplying to the world, there are more that Ghana can do to supply to the world. So I believe when we come together, we can solve some of these things. So, thank you. This is I don't know if there are questions, people who would like to know more, there are people who would like to ask something.
Yeah, thank you very much, Godwin. You can take off now the sharing. And I think you gave us a good overview about the country, and I think it gives me and others hope in a world where so many things are going in the wrong direction, that you was able to bring up such a movement, and the way you are doing it, telling the people they have to take their country in their own hands in a democratic and peaceful way, I think is exactly what we even have to do in Germany. Yeah, this is a task we have everywhere in the world, because the direction and the elites, out of their interests, drive us in another direction. So I think now the floor is open, and if you speak, please short introduce yourself with name, maybe also where you are speaking from, and in which field maybe you are active, would be nice. If you want to speak, please raise your hand. Down you see the reactions. Now you can, or you do it direct. Then you can speak. So who wants to talk?
My hand is raised.
Good, then do it. Bernie, then speak.
Okay. Right. I'd like to start by saying congratulations to Godwin on an excellent presentation.
Thank you.
I've learned a lot about Ghana from listening to your presentation, and I have written down notes as you've been talking on this piece of paper.
Okay.
And I have a lot of questions to ask you.
Okay.
Now, I may have too many questions, so I don't want to go through them all because I want to allow the other people to speak. I don't want to be speaking for too long here.
Okay.
But I've got a few things I want to ask you. I saw the photograph of with a poster saying "Pay our arrears."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's my question for that photograph: who is employing these people?
Okay. So these were the government employed these people for they were working on toll stations, bus stops. I mean the tolls. Toll when you reach a barrier, Ghana used to have a toll. So
Yes, yeah, I can see, yeah.
yes. So at a point, the government came to the road minister came and said that they are not going to take road tolls again, and they are going to do pay. People are going to start paying tolls electronically, or a different form of tax called e-levy. So it is something that the whole country came against. Myself and my team, we were very much against that particular decision, and even everybody. But at the end of the day, the government made that decision, and so these people who were disabled, who were working at the toll stations because they cannot be able to move all the time, now they lost their jobs. And as we speak, there are some who are not employed. Some of the arrears that the government owed them, they did not pay. And so we brought some of them to our show to come and express their grievances. And some of them, after that, up to now, they still don't have any job doing.
Okay, thank you, God. Now this brings me to this is a right. Okay, thank you very much. That's clear what you're saying there. Now it's with relation to this topic. So these people are being exploited, and what I want to know is the government that is bringing in these regulations about these people are protesting against. How did this government get elected?
Okay, so Ghana have elections every 4 years, and so after every 4 years, there needs to be a change of government. So they were elected well by the people, but at the point, that's why in my presentation, I showed a picture here, which talks about this. Mahama is better than this man. So there are lots of people who are saying that they don't like the government, this current government, because of some of these decisions that the government took. So
tell me a little bit more. I'm interested to know a little bit more about Mahama, please.
Okay, so Mahama is from the party, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, and he has been in power. He has succeeded from the late former president, Jonathan Mills. And so Mahama came to power 4 years, and he has done very well when it comes to infrastructure development. Ghana lack a lot of infrastructure, but he has been able to put up a bit so that people were okay with the infrastructure, but people were not okay with in terms of corruption and in terms of financial flow, economic issues. So yes, so people were not okay with that aspect. So a lot of people thought there could be an alternative with this current president, who is Nana Akufo-Addo, who has promised the people a lot. He said a lot of things that he said that we show it on our show.
Yeah.
The current president is who we have now.
Nana Akufo-Addo.
Yes, Nana Akufo-Addo. He said a lot of things to the people, like when it comes to cedi rate, we are going to have 1 cedi to $1, and which has not happened. He said things like they are going to build 1 district, 1 factory, which is not there. He said a lot of things that they are going to I mean, a whole lot of things, but he's
Made a lot of promises.
yes, a lot of promises, but all those things didn't come. So
Yeah.
by I mean, surprise of the people, they are just waiting to change this current government. But there's one thing I'm appealing. I mean, if we can, and it's one thing we have been doing, but I'm looking forward to have a collaboration on is if we can get international petitions.
Yeah.
Not even directly, but because we are doing it. But if we can get international legal support, because
I've just got just one more question, then I'm gonna stop and allow. So I'm sure we have more questions from other people here. So I've got one more question. It's all connected with what I'm talking about, Godwin. All right.
okay.
And this is to do with who is in control of the financial operations in Ghana. How does the banking system work in Ghana? Do you have a central bank? Do you have an investment bank? Or are the banking organizations engaging in the speculative banking like we have here in the UK and in the United States?
Okay, so we have the current finance minister of Ghana is Ken Ofori-Atta. That's a cousin of the president. And there have been a lot of agitations to even...
He's a cousin of the president.
Yes.
So it's a family interest then.
Yes. So there have been a lot of agitations
Right, yeah.
to change the finance minister, but ever since he came to power, he did not listen to anybody.
Yeah.
We have a central bank in Ghana. We have other banks in Ghana. We have EcoBank. We have other international banks that we have Standard Chartered. We have Fidelity Banks and Ghana Commercial Banks. Other banks that we have in Ghana. But some of all these banks are virtually facing financial challenges.
Yeah.
Because of the mismanagement of the current finance minister.
Well, we have a word we use for this, Godwin. It's called nepotism. Have you heard of this word?
Yes. I've heard it.
And now we have the same thing. We have the same thing happening here in the UK.
I see.
Because people are friends. I'm friends with this guy. This guy's friends with this guy, and I'll give you. If you pass this law, I will give you some donations to your party and all this. I won't speak for long. I went to a big meeting in London on Tuesday about the trade union freedom for the trade unions, because the government here is trying to make a law that people cannot strike. They cannot go on strike. They will be arrested. They will be fined by the police if they're trying to introduce a new law. Now, we are fighting. I went to this meeting. There's 300 of us. I filmed the whole meeting. I took a video of all these people speaking. Really powerful speakers, passionate speakers for justice about this. How corrupt. You talk about corruption in Ghana, all right? Well, I mean, we've got it here as well in the UK with our government. I mean, we can't get rid of them because they are not been elected. They elect themselves, these people. We haven't voted any of these prime ministers in, So this is so basically what I'm saying here is that the way the banking system operates, it should be investing. There should be investment banks and investing in industry for people and in education and healthcare and all these. This is where the money should be going. It shouldn't be used as some kind of casino where people are playing games, So I'm going to stop there, Godwin, and I have a lot more questions here, but I don't want to take up the meeting. Thank you.
Okay.
So before you go, I would like to show us the picture of the current finance minister in Ghana. He is in the person of Ken Ofori-Atta and okay, so I don't know if we can see him.
Not yet. Oh yes, yeah.
Yes, so that's him, the current finance minister of
what's his name then?
Ken Ofori-Atta.
Ken Ofori-Atta. Okay.
Yeah.
And he's Ghanaian, is he?
Yeah, he's a Ghanaian. A
Yeah.
lot of people are calling for his resignation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can you get a new finance minister then? How will that be done?
There has been some process even initiated by the parliamentarians of Ghana.
Yeah.
But I mean, some of these things that later were, I mean, politically motivated. So, I mean, there was a turnaround within a time when everybody was surprised how all those things happened. No, Ghana is a country that the people, the mass, are getting the power to make decisions. But what we need now is a bit of a support. I mean, international backing a bit, some legal education, because we do that on our platform, but we need more hands on deck to make the people know that, okay, even though you are doing it, you can do further, because some of these things can be legally triggered, that can be legally done elsewhere in the world, but some of these things in Ghana, it's not new. So we just want, I mean, people, individuals, groups that we can be able to strengthen some of these things.
Just one last question. Forgive me, all right?
That's okay. I wish we have more.
Yeah. Well, no, I've got loads of questions, but I don't want to take over. Just one more question here. How much are you aware of what's going on in Ethiopia and Eritrea at the moment?
Okay, unless you brief me the topic of what.
Well, I'm talking about the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank and USAID. They're forcing people to take out loans and charging them a lot. Is the situation in Ghana? Are you being put in a position where you have to take out loans with the International Monetary Fund and pay massive exorbitant interest payments?
Yes, exactly. Currently, as I speak to you now, Ghana had meetings with the IMF. They wanted the support. The current finance minister beginning said that there was no way we were going to the IMF, but that we had to go to IMF. And for whatever reasons, we know there could be some international manipulations. By these international words, we know that. But now, current position is that they are forcing local banks, okay, to put hold on bonds, investments. By local people, people who are on pension and all that. The government is only putting hold on their investments and bonds. They have currently seized on government employment, and Ghana is a country that most of the people are employed by the government. So if government holds on employment, is hold on employment generally. So most of the people now they have been seized in unemployment. Yes, in Ghana. So that's the current position. I'm waiting to even hear from the IMF. I know there are other countries who have been in line, like Brazil and all, who are also in the position. But currently, Ghana is very in a tough one as you speak.
Before I pass on to Christina, who's got her hand up here, before I pass on to Christina, just one little question here. How much unity is there between Ghana and the other? I mean, Africa is made up of many nations, as we know. All right, and we know that together, a Pan-African alliance would be incredibly powerful. Now, how much unity is there between these different African nations with regard to addressing? Because I'm sure these problems are universal in Africa. They're not just applying to Ghana. I'm sure there's other African countries that face the same challenges. So could you answer that question for me, Godwin?
All right, thank you. As we speak, this Pan-Africanism has started not today, especially by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, who made every possible means to, unite Africa. But there have been a lot of, strategies from the international world to, make that not work. I can say there are other countries that are facing more difficult challenges and some not being peaceful in other countries, but we are doing our best, to set an example or to, I mean, so there are programs that we, especially Ghana and Nigeria, we have a lot of programs that we do together, entertainment, culture, and some things. Ghana and other neighboring countries like Togo, we do business together,
Yeah,
one and all that. So there are things that we've been doing to to unite together, but it hasn't been an easy one. But my platform, we have a segment that we used to talk about some of these things. We talk about leadership in Africa. We talk about how we can unite in Africa. So we've been doing much, but I think we can. There's more.
yeah. I'll come back to you. I will come back to you later in this meeting, Godwin, with more. But I want to allow Christina. She's had her hand up. She's been very patient waiting there. So I want to pass over to her now. If you
Okay, Christina.
Thank you. You are very generous, Bernie.
I know.
No,
we have to be generous. We have to be generous.
Exactly. Thank you, Godwin, for your presentation and for your commitment to. I don't like to use the word fix, yeah, but your engagement and your commitment for your country. And we have seen out of your presentation, there are many issues to work on for the betterment of the people. So when you came here to Germany, what is your expectation here?
Okay.
To achieve, or you talk about that we need to come together and work together. So what is your expectation for other ordinary people like me, for example?
But say a short word about you, Christina. You did not introduce yourself now.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I'm Christina, living in the middle of Germany near Frankfurt. And I was engaged in Black and White, which is the sister organization, let me say, from International PeaceFactory. And yeah, I worked for 20 years or 30 years ago. I founded it with Wolfgang together, and my purpose is always to empower people. And what can we do to empower the people so that they can take their lives in their own hands?
And you was in Ghana in a workshop.
Oh, yes, I was in Ghana and in Accra.
Oh, all right. So thank you. Thank you for the introduction. And okay, now to your question. I've been in Germany 3 weeks now, getting to 4 weeks. And honestly, I had a good welcome by Wolfgang here and the other people that I met as well. And I saw the difference in terms of development, in terms of human togetherness, coming together to do a lot. And it's one thing I'm hoping for my country and other countries as well. And I saw here too that there are other issues here, and that together we can also get, at the end of the day, we've been singing one song to have a peaceful world. So I hope to, having seen you here and other people that I meet day in, day out, I wish we can come together because unity is strength, and we can manage some of these challenges that are facing us as countries, as people. At the end of the day, we are human beings, one human being. So, there's a proverb in Ghana that when you see that your fellow person's cheek is burning, you fetch water on yours. So you don't know if you might be the next. So I hope seeing what is here and seeing what is Ghana. You have also been in Ghana, as I just knew. We can come together and start doing things that we can put together to eliminate challenges that we have.
Yes, thank you. And what do you mean we can come together in daily life?
Okay, so that is what we are doing. What I mean by we can come together, we might not probably or necessarily meet in person, but we can form a corporation where we can have meetings on Zoom, or we can form corporations that we could have people who would speak about issues, and we could set up platforms, foundations that we can pick one topic, one issue, and talk about, being it in Germany or being it in Ghana, so that we can do some of these things.
I'm not really satisfied. Excuse me, please.
Okay. So to go deeper on that, you know, there's a lot of generations that comes and go. Currently in our generation, we have a world that is global. You know, you sit in your home and you can be able to have even do anything with another person in his home. So I'm just wishing that we can meet, whether personally or whether via the internet or any platform, that we can set ideas on facing ideas of, issues facing these countries. Then we can take it one by one. We bring ideas, we put ourselves together to brainstorm and find solutions.
Okay. For now.
For now,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We had a meeting together with some activists here in the PeaceFactory, and had the dream to make two Zoom meetings the month. One for political education. They maybe take a special topic to get an expert. The other one to make exchange, how we come forward, how we deal with the problems in our countries, so that we exchange our experiences. But now, Frederick.
Hi, thank you so much, Wolfgang. Thank you for seeing you the first time. So my name is Frederick. I was born in Cameroon, living in Germany since 30 years. And I'm so happy, Godwin, to see all your achievements. And it is giving me lots of powerful today, and to understand and to see that many things that are relating to Ghana actually are also the same in my home country, which is Cameroon.
Okay.
So I'm very grateful about that. And myself, I live in Germany, and I was working within the Commission on the Root Causes of Displacement that was mandated by the German government 2019, just to develop some approaches for effective migration and the root causes of those migrations. I'm also leading a small NGO, which the name is Island Africa, which advocates for education, gender equality in Cameroon, in the north of Cameroon particularly, and promoting self-employment. As you may know, as the results of the key away from the Ministry of Cooperation in Germany last days, she was talking about 25 million of jobs that have to be created every year for the next, I think, 20 to 30 years, because the issue is very, very big. What I would like to emphasize here is, maybe let me give just one proverb, because you were talking about the proverb for minutes ago. There is a proverb from Saint-Exupéry which I'm carrying out every day. It is, what saves is to take a step, one more step, then another step, it is always the same step, but you have to take it. What does it mean for me? Beginning with that, what you have been putting in place to bring the people on the streets, it's a big step. And I think the people have to have lots of power to continue doing this, because only by repetitive activities, our governments will be aware of the problem that the people are facing daily in our countries. One of the biggest issues that the African countries have is that there is no connection. And especially thank you so much, Bernie, for telling that, for asking that question with regard to the connection to other countries. With regard to the African Union, there is this big project of bringing the economy together. There is the Agenda 2063, which is powerful. But at this stage, nothing concrete have been put in place to make sure companies can be created, industries can be created, maybe healthcare can be better provided to the people, services for the people, for the society, to be given to the people. All these basics are not on the agenda of some of our country leaders in Africa. And unfortunately, because of the Ukraine war, Africa is, on my understanding, not on any agenda, especially here in Europe, unless we talk about maybe the relationship to China, which is getting stronger and stronger, to Brazil, to China, and so on and so on. And my takeaway from that is, we from the civil society, we have to raise our voice and to talk to any kind of institutions, particularly in Europe, to raise more awareness on the situation that the people in Africa are facing, because that will lead to one thing, that the young people start to move from Africa to Europe. And I think that will be, for both, a big issue. Thank you so much.
Very good. Thank you very much, Frederick.
Welcome.
So, Godwin, do you want to speak to the point?
Yes, I'm very happy, very happy with your submission, and to even know where you come from. And I'm happy to have you here, and I'm happy to have you, all of us, after today, so we can take a step, because like I said, we can only be strong as Africa if we only come together. And I'm hoping that we are ready in Ghana to have this togetherness, this collaboration. We are ever ready to put anything together that we can come together and be strong to deal with some of, because there are serious programs, serious issues as we speak now. And I can speak for Ghana because that is where I came from, and that's where I'm going. And the people are ready to make change. The people are ready to come together to find solutions. Majority of the population are ready. And I mean, we devoting ourselves to do that. Anytime we call the people, they are ready to respond. They are ready to come. Both children, adults, youth, they are ready to. There are sometimes we even organize programs, I mean, to show talent and all that. So I mean, Ghana, as I speak, is ready for some of these things. So I'm happy, and we are here, and we really have to make the decision to move together, and we are on.
So, Frederick, what I want to know, you was one of the commission in Germany. There were honored people who asked the political parties, please don't fight the refugees, don't fight the reasons why people come. And you and there were migrants in the group, yeah, I must, who made the report to see what has to be done. And good, you was part of it. And now I want to know from you, which is the outcome of this report? Did anything change? One of the thesis was, if the rich world doesn't change its policies, there's no chance to overcome the reasons why people have to flee. And what you say now since the Ukraine war, yeah, this is all out. They don't speak about anymore. They are welcoming the refugees from Ukraine, but closing still the borders to the global south. Yeah, but this issue is out of the, is not in the public discussion anymore. So what is your experience with this point? When I saw, when they presented it even, when this one minister, we had luck that he was there, I think Mr. Müller, the medias were not interested, they didn't come. And most people even don't know about this report. So it was how I see it. It was publicly boycotted. And from the medias, or made to a very small issue. Yeah? But this issue of refugees coming is a big issue normally in public, no? But the most time they discuss it in the way the solution is to close the borders.
The answer to the question is very difficult, and I'm speaking only for my own, right? And I think that things have been done, and if you get in touch with the coalition document, Koalitionsvertrag, you will see that many of the topics that we have been raising can be found there. The question now, and I think with regard to Africa, there is something that is very interesting in this Koalitionsvertrag. This is the question about the position of Africa in Germany, the situation of African people in Germany with regard to the descent, the decade of the Africans, the decade of the people from African descent. And I think at the end of the year, the German government put financing in place to open up a new project, a new building, or a new room, a space for African to start promoting their culture. This is something that is great. And I think we should look through that and to start making a discussion, having the discussion with the people. With regard to the Ukraine war, I think this is something that is more likely to be politics, and I wouldn't like to say anything about that publicly. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I just wanted to say what you also said, that because it is discussed mainly from morning till evening in our medias, the other topics are more or less away from the public interest. Now, this I wanted to say.
But the situation have changed, and see, the German government is doing things for the African people, and we have to start from there. And I think to have a place where we can discuss on any topics, for example, the return of of things that were stolen through during the colonial time, yeah, during colonialism. that is something that is great. And we have to start a discussion with the people in any kind of in the society. That is very important. And I think this is only the single way to look for new opportunities, and it is a chance for everyone to have steps forward, I think. And what is very important is for we Africans to help in our home countries, like Godwin is doing. And I think we have to make sure the people are always feeling good, and that they give their feedback, and maybe to get to the government to ask for for change. This is very important.
Okay, Klaus, do you want to open and speak short? Or do you hear us?
I think he gave a message. Okay, I haven't heard from him.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, no.
Yeah, now I can ask something. My name is Klaus Tüsing, living in Bonn, and I worked with the German Development Service in Ghana for 5 years, from 1994 up to 1999, for 5 years in Ghana. And coming back, I was one of the founders of the German African Center in Bonn, still existing. Our aim was to include the Africans living in Bonn in the dialogue between Germany and Africa. And we have a special relationship to Cape Coast in Ghana. That's a partnership town, one of the partnership towns of Bonn, the only one in Africa, Cape Coast in Ghana. My question is, if it comes to politics in Ghana, the constitution of Ghana was introduced when Rawlings was still in power. And of course, he did take care that most of the power is concentrated to the president. So the president is the most important man in the country, much more important than the parliament. The parliament is only to assist the president, nothing to say. So what is needed to enforce the democracy in Ghana? What is needed changing the constitution? What changes are needed in the constitution to enforce the democracy in Ghana?
You can't open your camera, Klaus.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, Godwin.
I agree with what he said, and it's one of the things that we have also been working on, because even the government, several governments decided or was trying to do that. They form a constitution review committee. They brought their recommendations and all those things, but at the end of the day, because the same government is benefiting from it, there have been less effort to address some of this issues. So publicly and as a media house, we have been, it's part of the reasons why the country publicly request the number of people that say that we want this constitution to be changed. And we have been saying it already, that processes that we embark, that we make this happen. And that is why it is important to be some international bodies, who will be able to, because we have the people who are understanding the trend, they are ready to do that. But because the government think they have the power to decide with the security, to decide with the parliamentarians, sometimes try to put fear into the people or try to suppress the people. And sometimes we are looking, and it's something we are, if we get people outside Ghana, and international people who could even get the word of, or something that, to just this thing, we'll be very happy. It's something that we are on, and we hope to get external support. That will make the Ghana, because the government has international contact, international individuals, and people in Ghana and countries with this type of discuss this type of education, this type of human rights, or I mean, as a citizen, right? I mean, say this when you have when you are multi-traditional people just to deal with. If you have people outside of the we add to what we have, it becomes very successful. So it's something we are doing, and we hope to get more people on board because we know the international community is also interested in that particular issue. You know, like the way you are saying, you know, there are lots of people who have interest in that. Sometimes our people feel that we are doing this alone, so our people get scared because of the government machinery, which shouldn't be so because they are right to be so. I mean, we just need a bit of this strength and add to what we do, and we are done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Klaus, yeah.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Okay.
No que-
Yeah,
Yes,
Klaus was also a member of parliament, and I learned a lot from him. He tried to change things in the parliament in the start of the 80s, but was mocked out of the parliament because he had a minimum position. He was against putting rockets here against Russia. So, and he was a minority, and he told me, in parliament, you will not change things. You have to go in the congregations, and if the politicians have fear that they will not be re-elected, this is your point where you can come in, policies. And this I have learned from him. I think this above party streams in the congregation.
Your video stopped.
Whoa. I don't know what happened. Missed.